Spirit. Imagine if I told you there's one simple exercise that targets stubborn belly fat, tightens your core, spirit, and helps flatten your stomach faster than endless crunches or sit-ups. No fancy equipment, no gym membership, and no hours of cardio. Most people overlook it, spirit, and that's exactly why it works so well. Stick with me, because by the end of this video and spirit, you'll know how to do it correctly and how to use it to finally see real changes in your belly. Let's be honest for a second. Spirit. Belly fat is usually the most frustrating fat to lose. You can eat better, walk every day, even do workouts, and spirit. And still that soft layer around the stomach just refuses to go away. The reason is simple: most exercises only work one muscle at a time, and spirit. And many of them don't activate your deep core at all. That's where this exercise comes in and why it's so powerful. And spirit. The exercise I'm talking about is the plank. I know, you've heard of it before. But don't click away yet, spirit, because chances are you've either been doing it wrong or not using it in a way that actually melts belly fat. When done properly, and spirit, the plank turns your entire body into a fat-burning machine. It doesn't just work your abs, it engages your shoulders, back, glutes, thighs, spirit, and even your breathing muscles. This full body tension is what forces your body to burn more calories and tap into stored fat, especially around the belly. Spirit. Here's why the plank is so effective for a flat stomach. Belly fat is closely linked to weak deep core muscles, spirit, especially a muscle called the transverse abdominis. This muscle acts like a natural corset around your waist. When it's strong and active, spirit, it pulls your stomach inward, making your belly look flatter even before you lose all the fat. And spirit, planks directly target this muscle in a way that sit-ups never can. Now let me explain how to do the plank correctly, because form is everything. Spirit, get into a forearm plank position with your elbows directly under your shoulders. Your legs should be extended straight back, toes on the floor. And spirit. Now here's the key part: squeeze your glutes like you're holding a coin between them, tighten your thighs, and pull your belly button gently toward your spine. And spirit, don't suck in your stomach aggressively, just create firm tension. Your body should be in a straight line from your head to your heels. No sagging hips, spirit, no raised hips. As you hold the plank, focus on your breathing. Slow, controlled breaths through your nose if possible. This keeps your stress hormones lower, and spirit, which is incredibly important because high stress and high cortisol levels are linked to belly fat storage. And spirit. This means that simply breathing correctly during this exercise helps your body release belly fat more efficiently. And spirit. Now let's talk about how long you should hold it. You don't need to plank for 5 minutes. In fact, shorter, high-quality planks are much better. And spirit. Start with 20 to 30 seconds if you're a beginner. As you get stronger, work your way up to 45 seconds or 1 minute. And spirit, what matters most is maintaining full body tension the entire time. If your form breaks, stop, rest, and go again for even faster results. And spirit, you can turn this one exercise into a belly fat melting routine. Do the plank 3 times, resting about 30 seconds between each hold. That's it. Spirit, this can be done once or twice a day, and it takes less than 5 minutes total. Consistency is what makes the difference. And spirit, doing this every day trains your core to stay tight throughout the day, which means you're burning more calories even when you're not exercising. And spirit, another powerful tip is to do your plank before meals or in the morning on an empty stomach. And spirit, this helps activate your core early in the day and improves your posture, digestion, and metabolism. Over time, and spirit, better posture alone can make your stomach appear flatter because you're no longer pushing your belly forward. I also want to be very clear about something. No exercise can magically spot reduced fat overnight. And spirit. But the plank comes as close as possible because it strengthens the exact muscles responsible for pulling your waist inward while increasing overall fat burn. And spirit. Combine this with balanced meals, enough water, and good sleep, and you'll start noticing your stomach feeling tighter within a couple of weeks. Spirit. If you've been struggling with belly fat and feel like nothing works, don't underestimate the power of doing one thing really well. Master this exercise. Spirit. Stay consistent and give your body time to respond. A flat stomach isn't about punishing workouts. It's about smart, And spirit, effective movement that works with your body, not against it. If you found this helpful and want more simple, spirit, science-backed tips to stay healthy and feel confident in your body, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, spirit, and share it with someone who's also trying to lose belly fat. Start today, hold that plank, and let your body do the rest. Spirit, most people struggle with belly fat not because they lack effort or motivation, spirit, but because the exercises they rely on simply don't work the muscles that actually matter. There's a common belief that doing more sit-ups, crunches, and spirit, or ab machines will automatically lead to a flat stomach, but the body doesn't work that way. These movements mainly target the superficial abdominal muscles, the ones closest to the surface, which can get stronger without doing much to change the shape of the waist or reduce stored fat. As a result, and spirit, people feel sore, tired, and frustrated, yet see little to no change in their belly area. Spirit, one of the biggest mistakes is assuming that all core exercises are equal. In reality, many popular workouts only involve flexing the spine repeatedly. Spirit, which trains movement but not stability. The belly fat problem is often less about weak, visible abs and more about a weak internal support system. Spirit, deep inside the core lies a group of muscles designed to stabilize the spine, protect the organs, and maintain posture throughout the day. And spirit, when these muscles are inactive or weak, the stomach tends to relax and protrude forward, even in people who are relatively lean. And spirit, another issue is that traditional ab exercises usually isolate a small muscle group instead of engaging the body as a whole. Spirit, fat loss responds best to exercises that demand energy from multiple muscles at the same time. When an exercise only works a small area, spirit, the calorie burn stays low, and the hormonal response needed for fat loss never really kicks in. And spirit, this is why someone can do hundreds of crunches and still carry stubborn fat around the waist. The body simply isn't being challenged enough to change. Spirit, there's also the problem of poor muscle awareness. Many people perform ab exercises using momentum rather than muscle control. They pull on their neck and spirit, swing their legs, or rush through repetitions without actually engaging the core. This not only reduces effectiveness, but can also strain the lower back and neck. Over time, the body adapts to these inefficient patterns, spirit, making progress even harder. The brain never truly connects with the muscles responsible for tightening the waist. Stress plays a major role as well, and spirit, and most ab routines ignore this completely. High-intensity, high-repetition workouts done incorrectly can increase stress hormones like cortisol. Spirit, elevated cortisol levels are strongly associated with fat storage around the midsection. So while someone thinks they are working hard to lose belly fat, and spirit, they may actually be signaling their body to hold on to it. Exercises that lack proper breathing and control can quietly work against the goal. And spirit, another overlooked factor is posture. Weak, deep core muscles lead to poor posture, especially an exaggerated arch in the lower back. Spirit, this posture pushes the stomach forward, making the belly look larger than it actually is. Many people blame fat alone, and spirit, when in reality a relaxed core and misaligned spine are major contributors. Spirit, traditional ab exercises rarely address this issue because they don't teach the core to stay engaged during everyday activities like standing, walking, spirit, or sitting. The body also adapts quickly to repetitive movements. Spirit, doing the same ab routine every day without increasing challenge or improving form leads to diminishing returns. The muscles become efficient at the movement. And spirit, meaning they burn fewer calories to perform it. This efficiency is great for endurance, but terrible for fat loss. And spirit, without full body tension and progressive challenge, the metabolism remains unchanged. Diet often gets blamed next, but even with good eating habits, spirit, weak core activation can limit results. A person can eat clean, reduce calories, and still notice their belly is the last place to change. Of spirit, this is because muscle tone and internal support influence how fat is distributed and how the stomach appears. Without activating the deep core and spirit, the waistline doesn't tighten and the visual changes remain subtle. Age and lifestyle further complicate things. Sitting for long hours and spirit, whether at work or at home, teaches the core to relax. Over time, the deep stabilizing muscles almost forget how to function properly. Spirit. When someone then jumps into typical ab exercises, the body defaults to the stronger, more superficial muscles, leaving the deeper ones inactive. Spirit. This imbalance reinforces the problem rather than fixing it. Spirit. Many people also misunderstand what it means to engage the core. They think it's about holding their breath or forcefully sucking in the stomach. And spirit. This creates tension in the wrong areas and prevents the deep muscles from activating naturally. Spirit. Effective belly fat. Focused exercise requires controlled tension and breathing, something most ab routines never teach. Spirit. The result of all this is a cycle of effort without reward. People work harder, add more exercises, and push longer workouts, yet the belly remains unchanged. And spirit. This leads to discouragement, inconsistency, and eventually giving up. The truth is that the problem was never a lack of discipline and spirit, but a lack of the right stimulus. Until the deep core is properly activated and trained, belly fat remains stubborn and resistant. And spirit. Understanding this changes everything. When you realize that common exercises miss the very muscles responsible for a flat stomach. And spirit. You stop chasing exhaustion and start focusing on effectiveness. The goal shifts from feeling the burn to creating full body engagement and internal strength. And spirit. This approach not only improves appearance, but also supports better movement, balance, and long-term health. And spirit. Which is why addressing the root cause of belly fat is far more powerful than endlessly repeating exercises that were never designed to solve the problem in the first place. Spirit. The plank stands out as one of the most powerful exercises because it doesn't isolate one muscle or rely on repetitive movement. And spirit. Instead, it forces the entire body to work together as a single unit. When you hold a plank correctly, your body is under continuous tension from head to toe. Spirit. And this constant demand is what turns it into an effective fat-burning tool rather than just a core exercise. And spirit. Unlike traditional workouts that focus on bending and straightening the spine, the plank trains your body to resist movement. And spirit, which is exactly what your core is designed to do in real life. And spirit. What makes the plank so effective for melting belly fat is the way it activates multiple large muscle groups at the same time. And spirit. Your shoulders work to stabilize your upper body, your back muscles keep your spine aligned, your glutes and thighs stay tight to support your lower body. And spirit. And your core ties everything together. When all these muscles are engaged simultaneously, your body requires more energy to maintain the position. Spirit. This higher energy demand leads to greater calorie burn, not just during the exercise, but also afterward as your body recovers. Spirit. The plank also creates a strong metabolic response because it is a static hold that requires continuous effort. And spirit. Your muscles stay under tension for an extended period. This time under tension is one of the key drivers of muscle activation and metabolic stress. And spirit. The more metabolic stress your muscles experience, the more your body is encouraged to use stored energy, including fat. And spirit. This is one of the reasons a short plank session can feel surprisingly intense and effective despite its simplicity. And spirit. Another important factor is how the plank trains the deep core muscles that shape the waist. The transverse abdominis, spirit, often described as the body's natural weight belt, is heavily activated during a proper plank. When this muscle is strong and active, spirit, it pulls the abdominal wall inward and supports the spine. Over time, this creates a tighter, flatter appearance in the stomach area. And spirit, even before significant fat loss occurs. Many people notice their waistline looking more compact simply because their core muscles are doing their job again. And spirit. The plank also improves neuromuscular coordination, meaning it teaches your brain and muscles to communicate more efficiently. Spirit. This improved connection allows you to engage your core automatically throughout the day, whether you are standing, walking, or lifting something. And spirit. When your core stays active during daily activities, you burn more calories without realizing it. And spirit. This constant low-level engagement adds up over time and contributes to overall fat loss, especially around the midsection. And spirit. Breathing plays a crucial role in why the plank works so well. Unlike fast-paced exercises where breathing becomes shallow and rushed, Spirit. The plank encourages slow, controlled breathing. This type of breathing helps regulate the nervous system and reduce excessive stress responses. And spirit. Lower stress levels mean lower cortisol, a hormone closely linked to fat storage in the belly. By combining muscular tension with calm breathing and spirit, the plank creates an internal environment that supports fat loss rather than fighting against it. And spirit. Another reason the plank is so effective is that it improves posture. Poor posture, especially an exaggerated arch in the lower back, and spirit, makes the stomach push outward. The plank strengthens the muscles that keep the pelvis and spine in proper alignment. As posture improves, spirit, the stomach naturally appears flatter because the body is no longer collapsing forward. This visual change often motivates people to stay consistent. And spirit, reinforcing healthy habits. The plank is also highly adaptable, which makes it sustainable for long-term results. And spirit, it can be modified for beginners by holding it for shorter durations or performing it on the knees. And spirit. And it can be made more challenging for advanced individuals by increasing hold time or adding variations. This adaptability allows continuous progress. And spirit, preventing the plateau that often happens with repetitive exercises. When the body is consistently challenged in a controlled way, spirit, it continues to respond by burning fat and building strength. Consistency is where the plank truly shines. Because it doesn't require equipment, a gym, and spirit, or much space, it's easy to include in a daily routine. Even a few minutes a day can create meaningful change when done correctly. And spirit. This regular exposure trains the body to rely on the core for stability, which improves movement efficiency and reduces unnecessary strain on other muscles. And spirit. Over time, this efficiency supports a healthier metabolism and better body composition. The simplicity of the plank is often misunderstood as a limitation, spirit, but it is actually its greatest strength. There are no complex movements to master, no high-impact stress on the joints, and no need for constant variation. Spirit. The challenge comes from how well you engage your body, not from how complicated the exercise looks. And spirit. This makes the plank accessible to people of different fitness levels while still being demanding enough to drive real results. And spirit. When you look at the plank not just as an ab exercise, but as a full body conditioning tool, its impact becomes clear. Spirit, it strengthens the core from the inside out, increases calorie burn through total body engagement, improves posture and breathing. Spirit, and creates the hormonal conditions needed for fat loss. Spirit. This combination is what makes it so effective for targeting stubborn belly fat and building a flatter stomach over time without relying on extreme workouts or endless repetitions. And spirit. Proper plank form is the difference between an exercise that truly transforms the stomach and one that simply feels uncomfortable without delivering results. And spirit. Many people assume that holding any plank position is enough, but small mistakes in alignment and muscle engagement can dramatically reduce its effectiveness. And spirit. When form is off, the body shifts the workload away from the core and onto the joints or the lower back. And spirit, which not only limits fat burning potential, but can also lead to discomfort or injury over time. And spirit. One of the most common form issues is allowing the hips to sag toward the floor. Spirit. This often happens when the core muscles fatigue or were never fully engaged to begin with. When the hips drop, the lower back takes on excessive load. And spirit. And the deep abdominal muscles stop working efficiently. Instead of strengthening the muscles that flatten the stomach, spirit, the exercise becomes a strain on the spine. Keeping the body in a straight line from head to heels ensures that the core remains active and protected. Spirit, raising the hips too high is another frequent mistake. While this position may feel easier, it significantly reduces the demand on the abdominal muscles. Spirit, the plank turns into more of a resting pose rather than a strengthening one. And spirit. The goal is not to make the exercise comfortable, but to maintain controlled tension throughout the entire body. Spirit. A neutral spine position allows the core to do its job without unnecessary compensation from other muscles. Spirit. Elbow and shoulder placement also play a crucial role in proper plank form. When the elbows are too far forward or too far back, the shoulders become unstable. Spirit, and tension shifts away from the core. And spirit. Placing the elbows directly under the shoulders creates a solid base of support and allows the upper body to contribute to overall stability. Spirit. This balanced distribution of effort is what turns the plank into a full body exercise rather than just an arm hold. Spirit. Hand and forearm pressure is another detail that is often overlooked. Actively pressing the forearms into the floor engages the shoulders and upper back. And spirit, which helps stabilize the torso. This action creates a chain reaction through the body, increasing core activation. Without this pressure, spirit, the plank becomes passive and the deep muscles responsible for tightening the waist are less engaged. Lower body engagement is equally important. And spirit. Many people focus only on the abs and forget about the legs and glutes. When the glutes are relaxed, the pelvis tilts forward. Spirit, making it harder for the core to stay engaged. Squeezing the glutes gently brings the pelvis into a neutral position. And spirit, which allows the abdominal muscles to work more effectively. Tightening the thighs adds another layer of stability. And spirit, increasing overall tension and calorie burn. Breathing is one of the most powerful yet neglected aspects of plank form. And spirit, holding the breath or breathing shallowly increases internal pressure and raises stress levels. This not only makes the exercise harder to sustain but also signals the body to enter a stress response. Slow, spirit. Controlled breathing keeps the nervous system calm and allows the deep core muscles to stay active. Each breath should feel deliberate. And spirit, supporting the hold rather than fighting against it. Neck and head position also matter more than most people realize. Spirit, looking too far forward or tucking the chin excessively can create unnecessary tension in the neck and upper back. Spirit, the head should remain in line with the spine, with the gaze directed slightly downward. This alignment helps maintain balance and prevents strain, allowing the focus to remain on core engagement. Another key aspect of proper plank form is mental focus. Spirit. The plank is not a passive exercise where you simply wait for time to pass. Actively thinking about muscle engagement makes a significant difference. Spirit. Focusing on drawing the belly inward, maintaining tension in the legs, and keeping the body aligned enhances muscle activation. And spirit. This mind-muscle connection increases the effectiveness of the exercise without adding more time or intensity. Spirit. Duration should never come at the expense of form. And spirit. Holding a plank for a long time with poor alignment does far less for the stomach than holding a shorter plank with perfect form. Spirit. Quality always outweighs quantity when it comes to building a strong, flat core. And spirit. Ending the plank as soon as form starts to break ensures that every second spent in the position contributes to progress rather than reinforcing bad habits. Proper plank form also reduces the risk of injury, which is essential for long-term consistency. Discomfort in the lower back, shoulders, spirit, or neck is often a sign that form needs adjustment. When the plank is performed correctly, it should feel challenging but controlled. And spirit, with most of the effort centered around the core. This allows the exercise to be practiced regularly without setbacks. Over time, and spirit, maintaining proper form retrains the body to move more efficiently. The core becomes better at stabilizing the spine during everyday activities, which reduces strain and improves posture. Spirit, this constant engagement throughout the day supports a tighter waist and increased calorie burn beyond the workout itself. And spirit, when all these elements come together, the plank transforms from a simple hold into a highly effective tool for belly fat reduction. Proper alignment and spirit, full body engagement, controlled breathing, and focused attention ensure that the right muscles are doing the work. And spirit, this precision is what makes the plank capable of delivering real, visible results. Spirit, proving that how you perform the exercise matters just as much as doing it at all. And spirit, the transverse abdominis is one of the most important muscles when it comes to achieving a flatter stomach. Spirit, yet it is also one of the most misunderstood and neglected. Unlike the visible abs that people often try to train with crunches and sit-ups, in spirit, this muscle sits deep inside the abdomen, wrapping horizontally around the waist like a wide belt. And spirit, its primary job is not to create movement but to provide stability and support for the spine and internal organs. When it functions properly. And spirit, it gently pulls the abdominal wall inward, creating a naturally flatter appearance even at rest. And spirit. Many people carry belly fat not only because of excess body fat, but because this deep muscle is weak or inactive. Spirit. When the transverse abdominis is not doing its job, the stomach tends to relax and push outward. This can happen even in people who are relatively slim. Spirit. The belly may appear soft or bloated, especially when standing or sitting, simply because there is no internal support holding everything in. Spirit. Strengthening this muscle changes how the stomach looks and feels, often before any significant fat loss occurs. And spirit. One of the reasons this muscle is so important is that it works constantly throughout the day when it is properly trained. And spirit. It activates during simple activities like standing up, walking, reaching, or lifting. When it is strong, it provides a steady, spirit, low-level contraction that supports posture and spinal alignment. This constant engagement increases energy expenditure slightly but continuously, spirit, which contributes to fat loss over time. It also reduces the strain placed on the lower back, making movement more efficient and comfortable. And spirit. Traditional exercises rarely target the transverse abdominis effectively. And spirit. Movements that involve bending forward or twisting tend to activate the outer abdominal muscles instead. While these muscles have their place, spirit, they do little to improve the inward pull of the waist. As a result, people can build strong surface muscles while the deeper layer remains weak. And spirit. This imbalance is one of the main reasons why many of workouts fail to deliver a truly flat stomach. And spirit. Activating the transverse abdominis requires a different approach. Instead of focusing on movement, the focus shifts to tension and control. Spirit. Exercises that require the body to resist movement, such as isometric holds, are particularly effective. When the body is held steady against gravity, the transverse abdominis must engage to stabilize the spine and pelvis. And spirit. This type of activation teaches the muscle to function the way it is designed to function in everyday life. And spirit. Breathing plays a crucial role in engaging this muscle properly. The transverse abdominis works closely with the diaphragm. Spirit. The main muscle responsible for breathing. Shallow chest breathing limits its activation, while slow, controlled breathing encourages it to engage naturally. And spirit. When you exhale gently and feel the abdomen draw inward, the transverse abdominis is working. Over time, this pattern becomes automatic. Spirit. Allowing the stomach to stay flatter without conscious effort. And spirit. Another reason this muscle is so effective at shaping the waist is its influence on internal pressure. By gently compressing the abdominal cavity, in spirit, it supports the organs and reduces outward pressure on the abdominal wall. This creates a more compact midsection and reduces the appearance of bloating. Spirit. Many people notice that when this muscle becomes stronger, their clothes fit better around the waist, even if the number on the scale hasn't changed. Spirit. Posture improvement is another major benefit of a strong transverse abdominis. Weak, deep core muscles often lead to an exaggerated arch in the lower back, spirit, which pushes the stomach forward. This posture makes the belly look larger and places extra stress on the spine. When the transverse abdominis is active, spirit, it helps maintain a neutral pelvis and upright posture. This alignment alone can make a dramatic visual difference in how flat the stomach appears. And spirit. Consistency is key when training this muscle because it responds best to frequent, low-impact activation rather than intense, exhausting workouts. Spirit. Short daily sessions that emphasize proper engagement are far more effective than occasional high-repetition routines. Over time, spirit, the muscle develops endurance and learns to stay engaged throughout the day. And spirit. This sustained activation is what leads to long-term changes in waist shape and core stability. And spirit. Stress management is also closely tied to the function of the transverse abdominis. Spirit. Chronic stress and high cortisol levels encourage belly fat storage and inhibit proper muscle activation. Gentle, spirit. Controlled exercises that emphasize breathing help calm the nervous system and support better muscle function. When the body feels safe and relaxed, and spirit, it is more willing to release stored fat and maintain healthy muscle tone. And spirit. The beauty of strengthening this muscle is that it supports overall health as well as appearance. A strong transverse abdominis protects the spine. Spirit. Improves balance, enhances movement efficiency, and reduces the risk of injury. These benefits make it easier to stay active. Spirit. which further supports fat loss and overall fitness. The result is a positive cycle where better core function leads to better movement. Spirit. Better movement leads to more energy expenditure, and more energy expenditure supports a flatter stomach. And spirit. Understanding the role of the transverse abdominis shifts the focus away from chasing soreness or exhaustion and toward building true core strength from the inside out. And spirit. When this muscle is trained correctly, it acts like a natural corset, gently holding the waist in and supporting the body with every movement. And spirit, creating a flatter, stronger, and more stable midsection that reflects real functional strength rather than just surface, level muscle tone. And spirit, full body tension is what transforms an ordinary exercise into a powerful calorie burning tool. Spirit. And this is especially true when it comes to reducing belly fat, when multiple muscles are engaged at the same time. And spirit, the body is forced to work harder to maintain stability and control. This increased demand raises energy expenditure. And spirit, meaning more calories are burned in a shorter amount of time, unlike isolated movements that target only one area. And spirit, full body tension creates a chain reaction of muscular effort that elevates the overall workload on the body. And spirit. When you intentionally create tension from head to toe, your nervous system becomes more involved in the movement. And spirit. The brain has to coordinate multiple muscle groups simultaneously, which increases neural activity and energy use. Spirit. This coordination requires focus and control, making the exercise more mentally and physically demanding. And spirit. The body responds to this demand by tapping into available energy sources, including stored fat. Over time, then spirit. This repeated stimulation encourages the body to become more efficient at burning calories, both during and after exercise. Spirit. Another important aspect of full body tension is the increase in muscle fiber recruitment. When only a small muscle group is working, spirit, the body recruits a limited number of muscle fibers. When the entire body is engaged, more muscle fibers are activated across different regions. And spirit, larger muscle groups like the glutes, thighs, back, and shoulders require more energy to function, significantly increasing calorie burn. Spirit. This is why exercises that involve multiple joints and muscle groups are consistently more effective for fat loss. And spirit. Full body tension also enhances time under tension, which is a key factor in metabolic stress. When muscles remain contracted for an extended period, and spirit, they experience a buildup of metabolic byproducts. This metabolic stress signals the body to adapt by improving muscular endurance and increasing energy use. Spirit, the recovery process after such exercises also requires energy, contributing to additional calorie burn even when the workout is over. And spirit, the hormonal response triggered by full body tension plays a major role in fat loss. Spirit, engaging large muscle groups stimulates the release of hormones that support metabolism and muscle maintenance. At the same time, and spirit, controlled tension paired with steady breathing helps keep stress hormones in check. This balanced hormonal environment is ideal for reducing fat storage. And spirit, particularly around the abdomen where stress-related fat tends to accumulate. Posture and alignment benefit greatly from full body tension. Spirit, which further supports calorie burn throughout the day. When the body learns to maintain proper alignment, movement becomes more efficient. Spirit, efficient movement reduces unnecessary strain and allows muscles to work in harmony. This harmony encourages consistent and spirit low-level muscle activation during daily activities, subtly increasing energy expenditure without additional effort. And spirit, another benefit of full body tension is improved muscular endurance. As muscles learn to stay engaged for longer periods, spirit, they become better at supporting the body during both exercise and everyday movements. Spirit. This endurance reduces fatigue and makes it easier to stay active overall. Increased activity naturally leads to higher calorie burn. And spirit, creating a positive feedback loop that supports fat loss. Full body tension also improves body awareness. And spirit, becoming conscious of how different muscles work together enhances movement quality. And spirit, this awareness allows for better control and more effective exercise execution. When exercises are performed with intention and precision, spirit, they produce greater results than rushed or careless movements. And spirit, this mindful approach ensures that every repetition or hold contributes meaningfully to calorie expenditure. And spirit, consistency becomes easier when exercises are efficient and effective. Full body tension allows for shorter workouts that still deliver results. Spirit, making it easier to stick to a routine. When people see progress without spending excessive time exercising, motivation increases. Spirit. This consistency is crucial because fat loss is driven by repeated, sustainable habits rather than extreme efforts. And spirit. Another often overlooked advantage is joint protection. When muscles around a joint are engaged together, they provide better support and stability of spirit. This reduces the risk of injury and allows for long-term training without setbacks. And spirit. Staying injury-free is essential for maintaining consistent activity levels, which directly impacts calorie burn and fat loss. And spirit. The cumulative effect of full body tension extends beyond individual workouts. Over time, the body adapts by becoming stronger, more stable, spirit, and more metabolically active. Muscles require energy even at rest, period. So increasing overall muscle engagement contributes to a slightly higher resting metabolic rate. While this increase may be subtle, spirit, it adds up over weeks and months, supporting gradual and sustainable fat loss. When full body tension becomes a habit rather than a conscious effort, and spirit, the body naturally stays more active. Simple actions like standing, walking, or carrying objects involve greater muscle engagement. This constant low-level activity increases daily energy expenditure, spirit, making it easier to maintain a healthy weight and a flatter stomach without relying solely on structured workouts, period. Understanding the role of full body tension shifts the focus away from chasing isolated muscle fatigue and toward building integrated strength, spirit. This approach not only burns more calories but also improves movement quality, posture, and overall physical resilience. Period. By engaging the entire body as a unified system, exercises become more effective, time efficient, spirit, and supportive of long-term belly fat reduction and overall health. Spirit. Correct breathing during exercise has a powerful impact on how the body stores and releases fat, especially around the belly. Spirit. Many people underestimate this connection and focus only on movement or intensity and spirit. But the way you breathe can quietly determine whether your body enters a fat-burning state or a fat-storing one. When breathing is rushed, shallow, and spirit, or held during effort, the nervous system interprets the activity as stress rather than controlled exertion. Spirit. This stress response directly affects hormones that influence where fat is stored, with the abdominal area being the most sensitive. Stress hormones, period, particularly cortisol, play a major role in stubborn belly fat. Cortisol is released when the body feels under pressure, overwhelmed, or unsafe. Spirit. While short bursts of cortisol are normal and even useful, chronically elevated levels signal the body to conserve energy and store fat, period, especially in the midsection. Poor breathing patterns during exercise can spike cortisol unnecessarily, even during relatively simple movements. And spirit. This is why some people work out consistently yet struggle to reduce belly fat despite their efforts. Slow and spirit. Controlled breathing sends a very different message to the body. When breaths are deep and rhythmic, the parasympathetic nervous system becomes more active. And spirit. This is the part of the nervous system responsible for calm, recovery, and balance. When this system is engaged and spirit, cortisol levels decrease and the body becomes more willing to release stored fat. In this state, spirit, exercise becomes a signal for positive adaptation rather than survival. Breathing correctly also improves oxygen delivery to working muscles. Spirit. Oxygen is essential for efficient fat metabolism. When muscles receive enough oxygen, they are better able to use fat as a fuel source. And spirit. Shallow breathing limits oxygen intake, forcing the body to rely more heavily on quick energy sources and reducing fat burning efficiency. Deep and spirit. Controlled breath support endurance and allow the body to sustain effort without triggering excessive stress. Spirit. Another important factor is the relationship between breathing and core activation. The diaphragm, the main muscle used for breathing, and spirit, works closely with the deep core muscles. When breathing is slow and controlled, the diaphragm moves fully, spirit, encouraging proper engagement of the transverse abdominis. This muscle helps flatten the stomach and stabilize the spine. Spirit. Poor breathing disrupts this coordination, weakening core activation and reducing the effectiveness of exercises designed to target the belly. And spirit. Holding the breath during effort is a common habit, especially during challenging exercises. while it may feel like it helps maintain tension. And spirit, breath holding increases internal pressure and stress. This raises blood pressure temporarily and can strain the nervous system. Over time, and spirit, this pattern trains the body to associate exercise with tension and discomfort, which can increase cortisol production. Spirit, learning to breathe through effort keeps the body relaxed and focused, allowing muscles to work efficiently without unnecessary stress. Spirit, controlled breathing also improves endurance and mental focus. When breathing is steady, the mind stays calmer and more present. And spirit, this makes it easier to maintain proper form and muscle engagement. Better form leads to better results and reduces the risk of injury. Spirit, injuries and chronic discomfort are stressors themselves, further contributing to hormonal imbalances that promote fat storage. Spirit, another overlooked benefit of proper breathing is improved digestion and gut function. Chronic stress and shallow breathing can interfere with digestion and spirit, leading to bloating and inflammation around the abdomen. Deep breathing stimulates the vagus nerve, which supports healthy digestion and reduces inflammation. Spirit, a calmer digestive system contributes to a flatter stomach appearance and better nutrient absorption, both of which support fat loss. Spirit, sleep quality is also influenced by breathing habits. People who practice controlled breathing during exercise often carry these patterns into daily life. Spirit, better breathing habits can improve sleep by calming the nervous system before rest. Quality sleep is essential for hormone regulation. Spirit, including hormones that control appetite and fat storage. Poor sleep raises cortisol and increases cravings. And spirit, particularly for sugary and high-calorie foods that contribute to belly fat. Breathing correctly during exercise also helps regulate heart rate. Spirit, a steady heart rate indicates efficient cardiovascular function and reduced stress response. When heart rate spikes excessively due to poor breathing. And spirit, the body perceives the activity as more intense than it actually is. This again triggers stress hormones that counteract fat loss efforts. Spirit, smooth breathing keeps the heart rate in a productive zone that supports endurance and fat metabolism. Over time, spirit, consistent proper breathing retrains the nervous system to handle physical stress more efficiently. The body becomes more resilient and adaptable. Spirit, responding to exercise with improved strength and fat loss rather than tension and fatigue. This adaptability makes it easier to stay consistent. And spirit, which is one of the most important factors in reducing belly fat. Spirit, the visual changes that come from improved breathing are often subtle at first but meaningful. Reduced bloating, better posture, and spirit, and a tighter core all contribute to a flatter stomach appearance. These changes reinforce positive habits and motivate continued practice. Spirit, unlike extreme workouts that rely on exhaustion, breathing-focused exercise builds sustainable progress without burnout. And spirit, understanding the role of breathing shifts the focus from forcing results to creating the right internal environment for change. And spirit, when the body feels calm and supported, it is more willing to let go of stored fat. Spirit, proper breathing transforms exercise from a stressor into a tool for balance and healing. And spirit, allowing belly fat reduction to occur naturally as part of improved overall function and well-being. Short, spirit, high-quality plank holds are far more effective than long, sloppy ones because the body only benefits when the right muscles are actively engaged. And spirit, many people believe that holding a plank for as long as possible is the ultimate goal. And spirit, but duration alone means very little if form and tension are compromised. Once alignment breaks down, and spirit, the exercise stops targeting the deep core and begins shifting stress to the lower back, shoulders, or hips. At that point, and spirit, the plank becomes an endurance challenge rather than a fat-burning, stomach-flattening tool. Spirit, the purpose of the plank is not to survive discomfort, but to maintain controlled, full-body tension. And spirit, when a plank is held for a shorter period with perfect form, the muscles stay highly activated the entire time. The deep core remains engaged. Spirit, the glutes stay tight, and the shoulders and back provide stable support. And spirit, this high level of muscle recruitment increases calorie burn and improves core strength much more efficiently than a longer hold performed with poor mechanics. Spirit, as fatigue sets in during an extended plank, the body naturally looks for shortcuts. The hips begin to sag or lift, the shoulders collapse, and spirit, and breathing becomes shallow or erratic. These compensations reduce core activation and increase stress on joints. Spirit. Instead of strengthening the muscles that support a flat stomach, the exercise reinforces poor movement patterns. Over time, spirit, this can lead to discomfort or injury, which disrupts consistency and slows progress. Shorter plank holds allow for better mental focus. And spirit. When the hold is manageable, attention can remain on muscle engagement, posture, and breathing. This awareness enhances the mind-muscle connection and spirit, making each second of the plank more productive. The brain learns how to activate the core efficiently, which carries over into daily activities. And spirit. This constant low-level engagement throughout the day contributes significantly to belly fat reduction. Spirit. Another advantage of shorter holds is improved recovery. High-quality planks place intense demand on the muscles. Spirit. And proper recovery allows those muscles to adapt and grow stronger. When planks are held too long with poor form, spirit, recovery becomes less effective because the muscles were not optimally stimulated. Short and spirit. Controlled sets followed by brief rest periods create a better balance between effort and recovery, leading to faster improvements in strength and endurance. Shorter holds also reduce unnecessary stress on the nervous system. Long, exhausting planks can spike stress hormones. Spirit, especially if breathing becomes strained. Elevated stress hormones encourage fat storage around the belly, directly counteracting the goal of a flat stomach. Spirit. High-quality holds paired with controlled breathing keep stress levels lower, creating a hormonal environment that supports fat loss rather than resistance. And spirit. Consistency is easier to maintain when workouts feel effective but not punishing. Spirit. Short plank sessions fit easily into daily routines and don't require excessive willpower. And spirit. When people know they can complete an exercise with good form in under a minute, they are more likely to do it regularly. Spirit. This consistency is far more important than occasional long sessions because fat loss responds to repeated, sustainable effort. From a strength perspective, spirit, muscles respond best to quality tension rather than prolonged strain. The deep core muscles are designed to provide stability, not endure endless holds. Spirit. Training them with shorter, intense activation teaches them to respond quickly and effectively. This responsiveness improves posture and spinal support. And spirit, which helps flatten the stomach by preventing the abdomen from pushing forward. Short plank holds also make progression more effective. Instead of chasing longer times, progress can be made by improving form, increasing tension, or adding controlled variations. Spirit. This keeps the body challenged without sacrificing technique. When progression is based on quality rather than duration, results continue without plateaus. And spirit, another key benefit is reduced risk of injury. Poorly performed long planks place repetitive stress on the shoulders, elbows, and lower back. And spirit, shorter holds allow these joints to stay stable and supported. And spirit, staying injury-free is essential for long-term fat loss and overall health because setbacks often lead to inactivity and loss of momentum. And spirit, high-quality planks also improve breathing efficiency. When the hold is short and controlled, breathing can remain slow and steady. Spirit. This supports oxygen delivery to muscles and keeps the nervous system calm. Spirit. Calm breathing during effort reinforces the body's ability to perform under tension without entering a stress response. And spirit, which is critical for reducing belly fat. Over time, the cumulative effect of short, high-quality planks is significant. The core becomes stronger, spirit, posture improves, and daily movements become more efficient. These changes increase overall energy expenditure without additional workout time. Spirit. The body begins to burn more calories naturally throughout the day, supporting gradual and sustainable fat loss. And spirit. Focusing on quality over duration shifts the mindset from endurance competition to effective training. It encourages listening to the body, spirit, maintaining control, and prioritizing long-term results. This approach aligns with how the body actually adapts. And spirit, making it easier to achieve and maintain a flatter stomach through smart, intentional effort rather than unnecessary struggle. And spirit. Consistent daily planks create a powerful training effect because the body responds best to regular signals rather than occasional intense efforts. And spirit. When the core is activated every day, even for a short amount of time, it begins to relearn its natural role as a stabilizer. And spirit. Instead of only turning on during workouts, the muscles of the core start staying lightly engaged throughout the day. Spirit. This constant low-level activation changes how the body holds itself, moves and expends energy, which plays a major role in reducing belly fat. Spirit. Daily practice builds neural pathways between the brain and the core muscles. Spirit. The nervous system becomes more efficient at recruiting the deep abdominal muscles without conscious effort. This means that standing, walking, sitting, and spirit, or lifting objects automatically involves the core. When the core stays active during everyday activities, calorie burn increases subtly but consistently. And spirit. These small increases may seem insignificant in the moment, but over days and weeks, they add up to meaningful fat loss, especially around the midsection. Spirit. One of the most noticeable effects of daily planks is improved posture. Spirit. Weak core muscles allow the pelvis to tilt forward and the lower back to arch excessively. This posture pushes the stomach outward. Spirit. Making the belly appear larger. When planks are done consistently, the muscles that support spinal alignment become stronger and more responsive. And spirit. As posture improves, the abdomen naturally pulls inward, creating a flatter appearance even without immediate weight loss. And spirit. Daily planks also improve muscle endurance rather than just strength. Endurance allows the core to stay engaged for long periods without fatigue. And spirit. This is important because most of the day involves low-intensity activities rather than short bursts of effort. When the core has endurance, it can support the body all day long, reducing slouching, unnecessary strain, and energy waste. Efficient movement requires less effort. Which helps regulate energy balance and supports fat loss. Another benefit of consistency is hormonal regulation. Regular, controlled exercise sends a predictable and manageable stress signal to the body. This helps regulate cortisol levels rather than spiking them. When exercise becomes part of a daily routine, the body adapts and responds calmly. And lower and more stable cortisol levels reduce the tendency to store fat around the belly. In contrast, irregular intense workouts can increase stress hormones and slow progress. Daily planks also reinforce healthy breathing patterns. As the exercise becomes familiar, breathing naturally becomes slower and more controlled. This calm breathing carries over into daily life, helping regulate the nervous system even outside of workouts. A calmer nervous system supports better digestion, improved sleep, and reduced inflammation. All of which influence belly, fat storage, and overall health. The cumulative effect of daily planks strengthens the transverse abdominis, the deep muscle responsible for pulling the waist inward. This muscle responds particularly well to frequent activation. As it becomes stronger, and it provides continuous support to the abdominal wall. This creates a natural corset effect that tightens the waistline and improves core stability. Many people notice their stomach feels firmer and more controlled throughout the day. Consistency also improves body awareness. And performing planks daily trains you to recognize what proper core engagement feels like. And this awareness makes it easier to correct posture during sitting or standing and to engage the core during other exercises. And when the core is used correctly across different movements, overall training becomes more effective, further increasing calorie burn and muscle balance. And daily planks are sustainable because they require very little time and no equipment. This removes common barriers such as lack of time, access to a gym, and or motivation for long workouts. When an exercise is easy to start, it is easier to maintain. And this sustainability is crucial because long-term fat loss depends more on habits than on intensity. And small daily actions consistently performed create better results than occasional extreme efforts. Another important aspect is injury prevention. A strong and responsive core protects the spine and joints during daily activities. When the body feels stable and supported, movement becomes more confident and efficient. This reduces the risk of strains and discomfort that could interrupt physical activity. Staying active consistently supports ongoing calorie expenditure and metabolic health. Daily planks also support better performance in other forms of exercise. A strong core improves balance, coordination, and force transfer. This makes walking, spirit, running, lifting, or any other activity more effective and less tiring. Increased performance allows for more movement overall, and spirit, which naturally increases energy use and supports fat loss. Over time, the psychological benefits of daily planks become evident. Completing a simple and spirit, effective exercise each day builds confidence and reinforces a positive identity around health and consistency. Spirit, this mindset often leads to better choices in other areas such as nutrition, hydration, and sleep. And spirit, these combined behaviors create an environment where belly fat reduction becomes more achievable and sustainable. Spirit. The real power of daily planks lies in their ability to change how the body functions rather than just how it looks. Spirit. By training the core to stay active throughout the day, the body becomes more stable, efficient, and metabolically active. Spirit. This constant engagement supports a flatter stomach not through force or exhaustion, but through steady and spirit, intelligent adaptation driven by consistent daily effort. Doing planks at strategic times, such as in the morning or before meals, spirit, can significantly enhance their effectiveness in targeting belly fat because timing influences how the body responds to exercise. In the morning, and spirit, after a night of fasting, the body is in a unique metabolic state. Glycogen stores are lower, and spirit, which encourages the body to use stored fat for energy more readily. Performing a plank in this state activates the core while tapping into fat reserves, and spirit, which makes the exercise more efficient for reducing stubborn belly fat. Starting the day with a short spirit, controlled plank session also sets the tone for consistent core engagement throughout the rest of the day. Spirit. Morning planks also help improve posture right from the start of the day. Overnight and spirit, the body may stiffen or adopt positions that allow the abdominal muscles to relax. And spirit, engaging the core first thing in the morning retrains the muscles to stay active and supportive. This early activation encourages the deep core muscles and spirit, particularly the transverse abdominis, to maintain tension during daily movements, which helps pull the stomach inward and improve waistline appearance. And spirit. Over time, these repeated signals train the core to stay naturally engaged, creating a lasting effect on posture and abdominal tone. And spirit. Breathing during morning planks is another factor that amplifies their benefits. Deep and spirit. Controlled breaths help regulate the nervous system and reduce cortisol levels that may have accumulated due to stress. And spirit. Lower cortisol levels at the start of the day reduce the tendency to store fat around the belly. Proper breathing also enhances oxygen delivery to muscles. And spirit, supporting endurance and allowing the body to perform the exercise effectively. This combination of tension, posture correction, and spirit and breathing efficiency makes morning planks particularly effective for belly fat reduction. Spirit. Doing planks before meals is also a strategic approach because it engages the core at a time when the body is about to process incoming nutrients. And spirit. Activating the muscles before eating stimulates metabolism and encourages the body to handle nutrients more efficiently. When the core is engaged, spirit. Posture improves, digestion is supported, and the abdominal area is prepared to accommodate incoming food without unnecessary bloating. Then spirit. This practice may also encourage more mindful eating because the body is more attuned to its muscles and core engagement. And spirit, creating a stronger connection between physical activity and nutrition. Timing planks in relation to meals also supports hormonal balance. Short and spirit. Controlled exercise before eating can increase insulin sensitivity, allowing the body to manage blood sugar more efficiently. This helps reduce fat storage, spirit, particularly around the belly, because high insulin levels promote fat accumulation in this area. Spirit. Morning or pre-meal planks combine low-intensity fat burning with hormonal optimization, creating an internal environment favorable for a flatter stomach. And spirit. The timing enhances the impact of the exercise beyond the movement itself. Spirit. Another benefit of these strategically timed planks is that they promote consistent practice. When exercises are tied to specific daily routines, and spirit, such as immediately after waking or before eating, they become automatic habits. Habitual practice ensures that the core is activated consistently, and spirit, which is far more effective than occasional, irregular workouts. Regular activation of the deep abdominal muscles strengthens the core, improves posture, Spirit, and supports ongoing calorie expenditure, all of which contribute to a reduction in belly fat over time. Morning or pre-meal planks also enhance mind-body awareness. When performed at predictable times, and Spirit, the individual becomes more attuned to how their core muscles feel and respond. This heightened awareness reinforces proper form and tension. Spirit, ensuring that the exercise targets the right muscles. Spirit, this connection between focus and activation is essential because deep core engagement is difficult to achieve without conscious attention. And Spirit, especially for muscles like the transverse abdominis that don't visibly contract like the outer abs. And Spirit, these strategically timed planks also support digestion indirectly. And Spirit, engaging the core before a meal stimulates circulation in the abdominal region and encourages gentle pressure that can assist in moving food efficiently through the digestive tract. Spirit, improved digestion reduces bloating and helps the stomach appear flatter. When combined with proper breathing, Spirit, these pre-meal planks encourage both metabolic and digestive efficiency, enhancing the overall effectiveness of the routine for abdominal fat reduction. And Spirit, the cumulative effect of performing planks at these times extends beyond single sessions. Spirit, repeatedly activating the core in the morning or before meals reinforces a pattern of low-level, ongoing muscle engagement throughout the day. Spirit, this continuous tension improves posture, supports spinal alignment, and maintains the internal corset effect provided by the transverse abdominis. And Spirit, even when not actively exercising, the core remains more engaged, contributing to fat reduction and a tighter midsection. Consistency in timing also enhances psychological benefits. And Spirit, establishing a routine that includes daily planks at predictable times reduces decision fatigue and encourages long-term adherence. And Spirit, when the exercise becomes part of the daily schedule, it no longer relies solely on motivation or willpower. Spirit, this consistency is crucial because fat loss and abdominal toning respond to repeated, sustained practice rather than sporadic effort. Over weeks and months, Spirit, the habitual activation of the core drives real, visible changes in the belly. In addition, Spirit, performing planks at these times encourages better integration with other healthy habits. Morning planks can be combined with hydration, stretching, and Spirit, or mindful breathing, creating a holistic start to the day that supports metabolism and reduces stress. Spirit, pre-meal planks can encourage mindful eating and slower consumption, both of which influence calorie regulation and fat storage. By linking the exercise to other positive behaviors, the overall impact on belly fat and core strength is amplified. Over time, Spirit, strategically timed planks improve both the internal and external aspects of the core. Internally, the muscles become stronger, more responsive, and Spirit, and better at maintaining tension. Externally, the stomach appears flatter due to improved posture, reduced bloating, and Spirit, and continuous engagement of the deep abdominal muscles. These changes occur gradually, but are highly sustainable because they are rooted in consistent, Spirit, purposeful practice tied to the natural rhythm of daily life. This approach highlights the importance of timing in exercise effectiveness. Spirit, performing planks at key points in the day enhances fat burning, core engagement, hormonal balance, digestion, and habit formation. Spirit, by choosing mornings or pre-meal windows for this simple yet powerful exercise, and Spirit, the body is primed to maximize results and achieve a flatter stomach more efficiently than with sporadic or poorly timed efforts alone. And Spirit, achieving a flat stomach is less about punishing workouts or extreme measures and more about consistent, Spirit, intelligent movement that works with the body rather than against it. Many people approach belly fat reduction with the mindset that longer, Spirit, more intense workouts are the key, but this often leads to exhaustion, frustration, and little lasting change. Spirit, the body responds best to exercises that are purposeful, targeted, and sustainable. Focusing on smart movement allows the muscles, especially the core, and Spirit, to engage effectively, which creates real change in the appearance and function of the midsection over time. Spirit, when exercises are chosen based on effectiveness rather than intensity, the deep core muscles, like the transverse abdominis, are more easily activated. And Spirit, these muscles are crucial for pulling the stomach inward and supporting spinal alignment. Spirit, traditional crunches and high repetition of routines may fatigue superficial muscles. Spirit, but they rarely engage the deeper layers that create the natural corset effect around the waist. Targeted exercises that encourage stability, tension, and spirit, and controlled engagement work with the body's natural design, producing a flatter stomach while also improving posture and movement efficiency. Intelligent movement also prioritizes form over duration. Spirit, holding a plank for a long time without proper alignment, does little for the deep core and can place stress on the lower back and shoulders. In contrast, and spirit, shorter, high-quality holds ensure that the right muscles are doing the work throughout the exercise. Spirit. This method teaches the body how to engage the core correctly, which translates into everyday movements. When the core is activated naturally during standing and spirit walking or lifting, it contributes to constant calorie expenditure and better control of the abdominal area. And spirit sustainability is a key factor in using smart exercises for fat reduction. Workouts that are overly complex, long, and spirit or exhausting often lead to burnout and inconsistency. By focusing on exercises that are effective, simple, and repeatable, the body receives regular and spirit manageable stimuli. This consistency reinforces the activation of the deep core, strengthens the muscles over time and spirit, and gradually reduces belly fat without causing frustration or injury. A flatter stomach is achieved not through sporadic extremes but through habitual and spirit intelligent practice. Smart movement also takes advantage of the body's natural energy systems. Exercises that require full body tension, spirit, controlled breathing, and coordination recruit multiple muscle groups simultaneously. This increases calorie burn both during the exercise and afterward, and spirit as the body recovers and repairs. Engaging larger muscle groups in conjunction with the core forces the body to use energy efficiently. Spirit helping to reduce overall fat, including in the belly area, more effectively than isolated movements alone. Another aspect of intelligent training is timing. Spirit, performing exercises at strategic times, such as in the morning or before meals, enhances their effectiveness. And spirit, morning workouts take advantage of a fasted state, encouraging the body to use stored fat for energy. Spirit, pre-meal exercises activate the core and stimulate metabolism just before nutrient intake, supporting better digestion and energy use. Spirit, by aligning workouts with the body's natural rhythms, smart movement amplifies results without increasing duration or intensity unnecessarily. Spirit, breathing is another critical component of effective, intelligent movement. Shallow or rushed breathing during exercise increases stress hormones, spirit, which can promote belly fat storage. Proper, controlled breathing helps regulate the nervous system, reduce cortisol levels, spirit, and support efficient muscle activation. When breathing is integrated into exercises, it enhances both the mental and physical aspects of training. Spirit, allowing the body to perform optimally and maximize fat reduction around the stomach. Intelligent movement also emphasizes progression rather than repetition. Spirit, instead of performing endless sets of the same exercise, small, purposeful adjustments such as increasing tension, improving form, spirit, or adding slight variations challenge the body in meaningful ways. This approach ensures that the muscles continue to adapt and strengthen over time. Spirit, progression built on quality rather than sheer volume produces long-term results in core strength, stability, and a flatter midsection. And spirit, posture and spinal alignment are significantly improved through smart movement. Spirit, weak deep core muscles allow the pelvis to tilt forward and the lower back to arch excessively, pushing the stomach outward. Exercises that focus on stability and spirit, controlled engagement, and tension strengthen the muscles that maintain a neutral spine. As posture improves, the abdomen naturally pulls inward. Spirit, enhancing the appearance of a flat stomach. This visual change occurs even before major fat loss, reinforcing motivation and adherence. And spirit, consistency in intelligent movement leads to a variety of physiological benefits. Strengthened deep core muscles support the spine, improve balance and spirit, and increase overall muscular efficiency. Daily engagement of these muscles boosts energy expenditure throughout the day, improves functional fitness and spirit, and reduces the risk of injury. by creating an environment where the core is consistently activated. And spirit. Fat loss becomes a natural outcome of improved body mechanics rather than a result of excessive effort or calorie restriction alone. And spirit. Psychological benefits are also reinforced through this approach. When workouts are purposeful and effective, spirit, they create a sense of accomplishment and control. This positive reinforcement encourages long-term adherence, and spirit, making it easier to maintain habits that support a flat stomach. Conversely, spirit training based solely on intensity or duration can lead to discouragement and inconsistency, slowing progress despite effort. And spirit. Intelligent movement emphasizes quality and sustainability, which cultivates motivation and confidence over time.